Welcome, everybody. My name is Philip Lovejoy. I'm the Executive Director of the Harvard Alumni Association. And it's my great pleasure to welcome you here for our Clubs and SIGs Awards ceremony and also for the town hall session after that. So without any further from me, because you'll hear from me later, I am very happy to pass it on to Catherine Kennedy, Vice President of the HAA Board for Clubs and SIGs. Catherine.
Thank you, Philip. Welcome, everyone. I invite you to imagine that you are joining me and Sanders, and I've saved you all seats on the front row of the mezzanine. I'm just going to scoot over, so come join me. I am also going to switch out my glasses to my gala glasses. They are sparkly. They are not quite as good as my regular glasses. But I figure that makes them the Zoom equivalent of fancy dress shoes for this evening. The HAA Clubs and SIGs Awards are about celebrating the service and contributions of the incredible alumni volunteers who lead, nurture, and grow Harvard's alumni community. Thank you to all club and SIG leaders who are with us tonight for all that you do for Harvard and your communities. As the awards are presented, please keep yourself muted and your camera on. We'll unmute to applaud all of our awardees together at the end of the show. You can press the CC button at the bottom of your Zoom screen to enable live closed captions. As you all know well, partnership and collaboration are the bedrock of successful clubs and SIGs, and fellow volunteers are among our most treasured partners and supporters. In recognition of that, we have a little surprise for all of our honorees, each of whom will be introduced by a fellow alumni leader who's been a part of their club and SIG journey. We'll start with the Outstanding Volunteer Leadership Award, which recognizes Harvard Club or HAA Shared Interest Group volunteers who have gone above and beyond the call of duty to make exceptional contributions to their alumni communities. It is my sincere pleasure to welcome Geraldine Acuna Sunshine, Harvard University Overseer and Co-President of the Harvard Club of the Philippines, to celebrate our first awardee.
Thank you, Catherine. Maria Carolina Carol Dominguez has made an indelible impact as co-president of the Harvard Club of the Philippines. A champion of inclusivity, Carol has been a key driver of efforts to engage alumni both locally and throughout the Filipino diaspora via an ambitious slate of programming and global outreach strategy. As an HAA director for clubs and SIGs, Carol has championed the perspectives of alumni throughout the Asia-Pacific region. As a member of the advisory board for the inaugural HAA Clubs and SIGs International Leadership Workshop, she was a key partner in piloting a dynamic interactive program format to engage fellow alumni volunteers and facilitate their learning with and from each other. As co-chair of the Clubs and SIGs Financial Sustainability and Partnerships Committee on the HAA board, Carol, along with fellow awardee Hisham Hamoda, MPH 2010, marshaled a team of thoughtful and experienced alumni leaders of diverse viewpoints to create resources that will serve clubs and SIGs for years to come. In addition to her Harvard Club work, Carol is past president of the Harvard Business School Club of the Philippines and a member of the HBS Alumni Board. A steadfast builder of alumni community, Carol is a dedicated, ambitious, and energetic volunteer who brings out the best in everyone around her. I am so honored to present the Harvard Alumni Association Clubs and SIGs Outstanding Volunteer Leadership Award to my dear friend, Carol Dominguez.
Thank you very much, Geraldine. It's so great to see you here today. I am deeply flattered, but actually almost embarrassed to receive this award today. Although an award is given to one individual, it ought to be given not to just that one individual, but to the community of friends and supporters that have helped make the person successful. I count among my friends and supporters my colleagues at John Clements, the firm I lead, my fellow Harvard Business School AMP 182 classmates, numerous Harvard Business School professors, including Ranjay Gulati, who is here with us today, members of the Harvard Club of the Philippines, Global, and the Harvard Business School Club of the Philippines, the Harvard Alumni Association, the Harvard Business School Alumni Board, friends at Harvard Business Publishing, and the broader Harvard alumni community. I am deeply grateful for your commitment to Harvard's mission of making a positive difference in this world. It is you who have made my volunteer efforts such a fulfilling experience. Thank you all. The work I've done for Harvard has been an act of the heart. It all started when I was a young girl from a developing country, tagging along with my father and my sister and my mother to attend my father's Harvard Business School reunions. It was then that I started dreaming of one day attending Harvard myself. That dream got realized when I had the opportunity to attend the Harvard Business School Advanced Management Program. There, I met many wonderful people, many of whom remain close friends to this day. And it was there that I drank the Harvard Kool-Aid, and in big gulps. It was there that I became committed to advancing Harvard Business School's mission of elevating the practice of management. But my dream has not just been for myself, but for my country, the Philippines. I would dearly like to see the Philippines advance and enter the ranks of developed nations. But for us to do this, we need to elevate our leadership capabilities. Harvard has been so supportive in helping us realize our ambitions for the Philippines. In fact, several Harvard professors have traveled to the Philippines or have spoken at our webinars, including Dean George Daly and Dean Douglas Elmendorf, and have been so generous in providing insights on how leaders and organizations can take their practices to the next level. At my firm, we endeavor to support Harvard in bringing its vision to Southeast Asia. For over a dozen years, my organization, in partnership with Harvard Business Publishing, used the case study and Harvard Business Review to develop leaders in Hong Kong, Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, Vietnam, and the Philippines. And during the current pandemic, so many leaders around the world in businesses and in government initially felt immobilized. I am so grateful to the Harvard faculty who gave us so much inspiration and hope. And I am grateful to the way the Harvard community, both faculty and alumni, came together so powerfully to provide guidance and support. This has been Harvard at its best, a wonderful community of bright people who have come together and helped each other during a very difficult time. But I have to say that there are two things that Harvard has to improve on. First, it should admit more Filipinos. And secondly, it should schedule board meetings at time zones that are more Asia-friendly. I've given a lot to Harvard through my volunteer efforts. but I have received so much more. I am deeply thankful for everything that Harvard has done for me, my organization, my country, and for my region of the world. And I'm especially grateful for the support that I received from Harvard professors and my fellow Harvard alumni. The award that I'm receiving today is just a reflection of how much I've received and my gratitude for all my Harvard experiences. Thank you all.
Congratulations, Carol. Welcome, Raja Gawi, President of the Harvard Arab Alumni Association, to recognize our next awardee for outstanding volunteer leadership.
Thank you, Catherine. Hisham Hamouda is an accomplished volunteer leader who embodies the values of respect, inclusion, and trust. As a board member of the Harvard Arab Alumni Association, or HAAA, Hisham played a key role in organizing more than 10 conferences, both on Harvard's campus and in the Middle East, providing mentorship to hundreds of students and alumni, and increasing the profile and impact of the HAAA. During his term as president, both membership and scholarship funding each grew by more than 30%, and engagement in board elections reached new heights. A conscientious collaborator, Hisham facilitated new programs and prospective student outreach while working with fellow volunteer leaders to optimize the operations of HAAA and revamp the group's web and social presence. He has forged and strengthened partnerships with other alumni and student groups, his impact leading multiple Harvard Arab student groups to jointly recognize him with an award acknowledging his contributions. As an HAA director for clubs and SIGs, Hisham has been an invaluable partner to HAA shared interest groups. His approach to every challenge and opportunity characterized by curiosity, composure, and deep wisdom. A strong and kind leader, Hisham Hamouda builds the Harvard community across campuses and around the world. I am proud to present the Harvard Alumni Association Clubs and SIGs Outstanding Volunteer Leadership Award to Hisham Hamouda. Mabruk.
Thank you, Raja. Thank you all very much. Thank you for the award itself. It's such a great honor, but I really want to thank you for something else that is very important. This is actually the first time since COVID started that I finally get to wear a suit and a tie again. I never thought I would miss something like that, but I do. So thank you for that as well. All kidding aside, I'm really honored. I'm truly humbled. I'm very excited. This award may carry my name, but really it's an award for the HAAA. I think it's easy to do well when you come into an organization with a strong foundation, and I was really lucky to work with a great team. I want to make a shout out to a few very important people in my journey. I want to thank our wonderful vice president when I was the president of the organization, Karina Biakar, and the rest of the team, including Raja Gawi, who's with us today and who's now the current president. I think my job was pretty simple. All I needed to do is basically just show up. With a team like that, they made it really easy. I want to thank a few other people. I want to thank Ahmed Al-Jaili, who was the president before me. I learned a lot from him, spending 2 years with him as president. And I spent my 2 years really just trying to emulate his poetic style in Arabic speeches. I'm still working on it. I'm not there yet, but thank you, Ahmed, for all your mentorship and support. Another shout out to Shahm Elwer, who's now on the Harvard Alumni Association's board as well. He was the president of the HAAA when I was a student. When I was a student, I got to work with him on a conference, and I was so inspired, so motivated that I felt like as soon as I graduate, this is one of the first things I want to do. And here we are 9 years later. So thank you, Shahm, and thank you for all the people who inspire us by their leadership, by their grit, and by their kindness. I also have a few personal thanks I want to send out to my wife, Hoda, who's with us today, and my children who are also with us, Omar, Ali, and Sarah, but all the families who are joining us today. To volunteer is really a sacrifice from the entire family, not just from an individual. I remember for years, being on the board and, traveling to the Middle East, but I live here 30 minutes south of Boston. And when we held a conference in Cambridge, I would still literally check into a hotel and be away from my family for the 3 days of the conference. So I want to thank them. I really want to thank them for their patience, for all their support. I also want to thank my extended family. My mother and sister are joining us from Vancouver. My father is with us all the way from Kuwait. It's literally, what time is it there? 3:46 a.m. So, this is just a small example of the incredible love, incredible dedication that I've been always surrounded by, and that has propelled me forward. Last but not least, I definitely want to thank the Harvard Alumni Association staff for their partnership, for their thoughtfulness and unwavering support. None of the work that we do could be possible without them. So I want to thank Philip, I want to thank Sari, I want to thank Erin, Jocelyn, the entire team. Thank you all. This is an incredible honor, and I really appreciate it.
Congratulations, Hisham. The next two awards recognize outstanding alumni communities for exceptional efforts resulting in outstanding, improved, or innovative engagement. Welcome, Cynthia Torres, our own dear past president of the Harvard Alumni Association and past president of the Harvard Club of Southern California. And begging John West's pardon, I'm not sure which is actually more prestigious, to present our first Outstanding Alumni Community Award.
Thank you, Catherine. Here is the award citation. Serving a diverse community of more than 16,000 alumni across a sprawling and densely populated region, the Harvard Club of Southern California creates and maintains alumni engagement opportunities of impressive scope while remaining ever nimble and responsive. Characterized by an extensive event calendar, frequent digital and print communication, and a commitment to good governance, the Harvard Club of Southern California has broadened alumni engagement in the region through partnerships with numerous shared interest groups, including Harvardwood. Boasting a large and active schools and scholarships committee with nearly 700 active alumni interviewers who this year are serving over 3,300 applicants. The club's student-focused programming demonstrates continued commitment to the newest members of the Harvard community, while board members have focused on cultivating a culture of respect, inclusion, and belonging for all members. Over the past year, the club launched robust initiatives in response to the dual crises of the pandemic and racial injustice. The club supported organizations addressing food insecurity by providing hundreds of meals to local health care workers. They supported Harvard students who are studying at home in Southern California due to the pandemic by providing access to technology, transportation, storage, study space, internship opportunities, and career advice. The club's anti-racism committee, the first established by a Harvard club, has provided an example of an anti-racism organizational initiative through its topical programs designed to train and empower community members to confront and dismantle systemic racism. With deep commitment to Harvard, the Harvard Club of Southern California builds resilient bonds across generations of alumni. I'm thrilled to present the Harvard Alumni Association's Clubs and Shared Interest Groups Outstanding Alumni Community Award to all of my friends and colleagues at my home club, the Harvard Club of Southern California, and that it be accepted by my friend, Harvard Club of Southern California's president, Patrick Verone.
Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you most of all for considering me your friend. I'm coming to you live from the Pacific Palisades in California, where it's 40 degrees warmer than Cambridge. So I'm happy to be here. I'm from the college class of 1981, and as Cynthia said, president of the Harvard Club of Southern California. On behalf of the Harvard Club of Southern California, I want to thank HAA for awarding the Harvard Club of Southern California its Outstanding Community Award. This is not the award. This is a bookend I bought at that cigar store on Mass Ave, but I'm going to cherish it just the same. The motto of the Harvard Club of Southern California that I recently made up is, "We bring Harvard to Southern California alumni community and our Harvard alumni community together." I got to work on that. In normal times, this has meant building the SoCal Harvard community, which, as Cynthia said, is comprised of nearly 16,000 Harvard alums. How do we do this? Through more than an event a week, programmed by our vice presidents of programming, Madeline Mejia and Lisa Watanabe-Pegler, who should be appearing somewhere on your screen. By publishing a monthly newsletter and weekly event emails overseen by our communication VPs, John Abel and Pooja Nair. By recruiting volunteers to interview more than 3,300 college applicants under our school's VPs, Harry Kim and Eva Plaza. By expanding our annual sweep of new grads supervised by our membership VPs, Marcia Hirano Nakanishi and Matthew Stasier. And by the care and welcoming of recent grads, an all too recent element of our club handled by Brittany Wong. We also have some long-standing programming like providing fellowships to summer interns, program that's been run for generations by former President George Newhouse, the Harvard Book Prize and Speakers Bureau, overseen by Sonia Molina, and the J-term internship programs of Corey Maza and John Wang. Plus, we do sudden and impulsive programming like raising funds for members and neighbors who lost their homes in the California wildfires, for which we thank Maurice Levin for the funds, not for the wildfires. That's what we do in normal times. Now, when COVID-19 appeared, that's when we really sprung into action. All of our events had to go viral, but we kept them coming, collaborating with other clubs and SIGs, Harvard and non-Harvard entities. When Southern California hospitals became overrun with cases, we created a COVID-19 response committee led by Joan Chu Reese, somewhere on your screen, to raise awareness and funds for local organizations on the front line of the pandemic. Thanks to the Harvard First Gen SIG, we became aware of the difficulties faced by Harvard undergrads who were sent home as a result of the lockdown, and created a committee led by Eva Plaza to reach out directly to those undergrads who now found themselves amongst us, alumni, in order to raise funds and distribute those funds and provide career and gap year guidance. Following the civil unrest last summer, after the murder of George Floyd, we created an anti-racism committee led by John Luna, Maya Williams-Verone, and Madeline Mejia to engage, educate, and activate our community built around programming to combat systemic racism in all levels of our society. The work of all these committees is ongoing, and it functions in tandem with the club's continuing work. And for that work, I want to single out two people I haven't mentioned yet. My immediate predecessor as president, Stephen Arco, who along with my successor, Joan Chu Reese, has been the multi-year chair of our bylaws revision committee and our nominating committee. It's that good governance that Cynthia was talking about. Without Stephen, the work of this board would just stop because the board would stop reproducing itself. The other name I must mention is another former club president who's with us, Kay Park, who serves on every one of these committees and is, most importantly, our HAA regional director. Because without Kay, she was the one who put us up for this award. So thank you, Kay, for everything you do, including that. Let me conclude by saying, thanks to the pandemic, we can't be in Cambridge today. We're not so bothered by that because, as I said, it's like 25 degrees there. But we are troubled by the fact that we can't be together for a full board photo. However, taking a page from the Super Bowl and the World Series, we can be together not only in spirit, not only in Zoom,
I'm trying.
but in cardboard. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2021 Board of Directors of the Harvard Club of Southern California. Wait, where's Marcia?
I'm here. I'm going to hit it.
Here's Marcia. Here's Marcia. We got Marcia, and we also got Cynthia. So thank you, and we are now all going to make a lot of noise so you can return to the other members of the board who are actually on Zoom to help make that noise.
Oh, come on, make it work. Make it work. There it is. There it is.
All right, we're done.
Awesome. Yay.
Wonderful.
Can
Congratulations.
unspotlight me. Thank
Oh,
you.
God.
Congratulations, Patrick, and to the entire board and the cardboard board as well of the Harvard Club of Southern California. Welcome, John West, President of the Harvard Alumni Association and past President of the Harvard Alumni Entrepreneurs, to present our final award of the evening.
Thank you, Catherine. Hard to follow that, Patrick. But I do want to congratulate Carol and Hisham and Patrick for those well-deserved recognitions and your amazing commitment to Harvard and our alumni. This final award I am so honored to present tonight is very personal to me. Clubs and SIGs have been a common thread of my 15-year Harvard alumni volunteer path, including the last 12 years on the board. And Regina was the first person I met on that path. So let me read the citation. A worldwide network connecting alumni across all of Harvard schools and all corners of the globe, the Harvard Alumni Entrepreneurs, HAE, brings together innovators to grow ideas, startups, and community. 15,000 members strong, the HAE community convenes around a robust slate of alumni-driven programming through a network of 15 chapters worldwide, with 141 active volunteers leveraging online programming and platforms to connect and engage members in 74 countries with a sense of belonging and common purpose. The HAE's commitment to mentorship is evidenced by their powerful online mentoring hub through an Entrepreneurs in Residence program that connects members with fellow alumni willing to share their extensive experience in the venture startup space, and via innovation fellowships offered in partnership with the Harvard Undergraduate Women in Business. They meet alumni where they are and with communication channels, including the HAE Connects web platform and the newly launched HAE Invites podcast. A community of innovators, HAE embraced the pandemic pivot, doubling down on an already robust slate of online programming to engender connection across the community and piloting new means of convening online. With a stated commitment to advancing diversity, HAA's ongoing series on Black entrepreneurship gives platform to necessary conversations regarding bias in the entrepreneurial space and opportunities to drive necessary change. Unfailingly generous, HAE shares its innovations and learnings freely within the clubs and SIGs community, extending partnership at every opportunity. Leveraging dedicated and energetic alumni leadership and a visionary membership, HAE creates a community that scales round after round. I am so very thrilled to present the Harvard Alumni Association's Club and SIGs Outstanding Alumni Community Award to the Harvard Alumni Entrepreneurs and specifically my dear friend, HAE President Regina Ryan. Regina, what you have led at the HAE is absolutely unbelievable, and I want to sincerely thank you.
Well, John, thank you. Quite moved by your words, and because it's anchored by an incredible friendship. And it's been a heck of a journey, those 15 years. So thank you so much personally. I can't even begin to tell you how much it means to HAE and to me personally to be honored by my peers. The support from all of you and the wider alumni community
100.
has been amazing. It's been like having a ready-made cheering section there for you. It's been that level of support that's made all the difference in everything we do, especially to me. And it's enabled HAE to grow into the alumni organization we are today. You know, we also have great thanks to everyone at HAA. You know, your support over the years has been invaluable because what you've done for us, you've been there for us and counseled us in terms of how we can be more successful. And to have that trusted partnership with HAA and with each of the staff there individually has been, it's just been amazing. HAA has created a community of learning. I mean, you see all these other awardees here today. We've all learned from each other because HAA made it happen. And as many of you know, I have borrowed most of your best practices. So I'm really eternally grateful to HAA. Everything we do and somehow has a touch of HAA document in it. So thank you so much. You know, this has been a tough year for us. We did pivot. We were good enough to have thought a little bit about moving to a technology platform. But it was literally 141 volunteers around the world who made it happen. These people showed up. We were producing 15 webinars a month, 23 podcasts, fellowship. But it was because of these 141 volunteers who kept showing up. The joke was in private meetings, we have meetings every month, that I thought eventually everybody was going to be breaking up with me and going on to other things. But they're committed to HAE, but more importantly, they're committed to Harvard and the bonds that bring us all together. So on behalf of that group of 8 alums who in the 90s had the vision to create a community for alumni entrepreneurs, and many of that original 8 are here tonight with us. Howard is on our board as well. He was a part of that original group all the way through to today, and the now 800 alumni volunteers who have brought our mission to life. Thank you for this recognition. It means the world to us. Thank you.
Congratulations, Regina, and the board of Harvard Alumni Entrepreneurs. And to all of our fabulous awardees tonight, let's take a moment to unmute and cheer for this great group.
Yeah.
Yes, bravo.
Beat Yale.
Beat Yale.
Sam the Slum, where's the champagne?
So thank you so much for being with us tonight to celebrate these wonderful leaders and organizations. And many, many thanks to Erin and the club, the entire Club and SIGs team, and all the rest of the staff, Heather Gain and her wonderful people working all the technology behind the scenes, and everyone else at HAA who made this very glamorous event happen for us. Thank you so much. We hope that you'll remain with us for a town hall conversation with HAA Executive Director Philip Lovejoy, which will begin momentarily. We will all take a brief break and reconvene with Philip at 8:10. So that's 5 minutes, everyone. We'll see you in 5 minutes.